All right, time for some true transparency as a business owner. These YouTube videos are hard. They're hard for me to do. I love when the audience shares the value that they are, but truthfully and transparently, they're very tough for me. I am better in front of a classroom or on stage or in a workshop. These videos often feel, or I have a topic and a thing I'm going through, they can often feel forced for me. Right? That's a transparent feeling. It's the honest truth. I was just saying to my team, I am so much better in front of a room when I'm teaching with a group of people and interacting, but I know that there's value that I can share to you, so I do these videos, but transparently they're a challenge. See, and sharing those kinds of things doesn't make you weak in business, it actually makes you stronger. And I wanna share that with you. I wanna share with you why being transparent, being vulnerable, the pros and cons to it in business, yet I still believe the pros outweigh the cons in a way to help you grow your business, connect with your customers, connect with your team as you grow a business. So let me share with you a couple of examples of that. One I just did about being on camera, but more importantly in the day-to-day activity. Part of that for me is also in social media. I have a hard time and I struggle because of my family and people around me of what to share, how much to share. And it's a balance, right? Because when you are transparent and you share thoughts or even struggles that you have two things that happen. You can open yourself up sort of criticism or ridicule, right? You could say, hey, I struggle with something like I just did with forced videos, hey, I've opened myself up. Someone could say, well, then why do them? Or do you have to make this about you then if you're doing these videos? No, they're not about me. They're for people who are growing their business that I want to add value to, right? So that could be a potential ridicule that I open myself up by being transparent. And on the other side of it, you could be sitting there going, I'm the same. I feel the same way. I feel like it's hard to start shooting videos. It's hard to connect with an audience like that through a camera. Okay, so now what happens? If you feel that way, there's a sense of relatability. There's a sense of connection that you have when someone shares how they feel about something. And so my advice to you would be share those things on your social media and your videos, share them with customers. Your customers can connect with you in a way that you're not sitting up on some pedestal or some tower saying, this is why I'm an expert, or this is why my product's superior. You're sharing with them the transparency. This morning I was listening to an interview from a lady who's a dairy farmer. She's in her late 60s and she was saying she's been a dairy farmer her whole life. And she was talking about how hard it is right now to make a profit being a dairy farmer and just some of the struggles they're going through. And I thought, instantly because she was sharing the struggles, I don't know anything about dairy farming, but I could feel the heaviness because I've been in a place in my business where it's felt heavy. I could feel the struggle she was going through. And instantly there was a relatability and a connectivity that I was able to share even though I know nothing about dairy farming. And that's what it does when you are vulnerable and you're transparent and you share things. It also allows you to be more approachable. People can come to you, your customers can share frustration, or your team can share things that are on their mind or their heart because they know you struggle with things too. So this is really important. And in fact, this morning as well, it was interesting because I was looking through social media and somebody I follow who I'm connected with, he posted on his social media that he's going through some things right now. And he said, look, you're probably not going to see me on social media for a while. So now, first of all, that caught my eye and I started reading through it. And he said, look, I'm going through some things in my personal life. Because there's other people involved, I don't want to share what that is. And I also struggle with even sharing this. And it was the next paragraph that really caught me and made me feel connected to him, because what he said was, I struggle with sharing this not because I don't want to be transparent, but it's this double-edged sword of, if I share with you what I'm going through, I open myself up to criticism. And also someone could say, you're being a victim. He goes, I don't want to come off as a victim. I'm not complaining. I'm just going through something. If you, who are friends of mine, would give me some space to work through it, maybe I'll share more later, but I'm going to be off of social media for a period of time. So that struck me as he's being super transparent. We've all been in those spots. I go through that often, how much do I want to share? What is important to share? Why is it important to share? Do I also put other people at risk? I can share my challenges, but if it involves another person, I don't really want to post that, right? And so he is being vulnerable. He's being transparent. This is what I'm struggling with. Personally, I believe his audience is going to connect with him at a different level. If you've ever had a customer where you've had a challenge and maybe you let them down, maybe you failed, maybe you didn't deliver, you sort of overpromised, you under-delivered. It's okay at some way to be transparent and say, look, I failed. It's still not okay. It's not an excuse. I just failed. I didn't deliver on what I promised to do. Be transparent. But here's what I'll do to make it up and make it right. That would be different than trying to blame the customer or blame someone else or blame circumstances. Don't blame. Just own it. and be transparent. This is what I did. I failed. I got too many things going on. I missed this. I didn't see this email. And just be transparent and own it, and then fix it. The transparency allows you to be more connected. It allows you to attract the right kinds of customers because they truly know you. It will also repel the wrong kind of people. Isn't it interesting that that criticism also helps you understand who you don't want to do business with, who you don't want to be around. So transparency is a great separator right now in business. The ability for you to say, let me remove the curtain, let me remove what's behind and show you. Often we do that with videos and things. We'll say, here's an event we put on, right? Here's the event. Here's what you saw on stage. Here's the production you saw. But let's go behind the curtain and show you all the work it was, all the challenges, all the late nights, all the stress that it went through, all the breakdowns from the team, all the conflict that happened. Why? Because then people go, man, I've experienced that, or I could understand that, or I actually appreciate you, or I appreciate the product you deliver at a different level because you're transparent about the challenge and struggle it was. It doesn't always have to be a challenge. I follow somebody who's very transparent about the success he's having, and he's unapologetic for it. There's something that I'm attracted to about that transparency as well. The reality is that however it is that you share it, however you choose to share it, it's still important to be transparent. It's still important to sort of say, this is where I struggle. Here's my weaknesses. Here's where I fall short, because people champion others. They root for the underdog. They root for people that are struggling. They want to be able to step up and help. How many times have you ever had somebody say to you, hey man, how can I help you? How can I help you get through something? How can I help you figure this out? I have it all the time. My challenge that I'm often up against is I try to push through on my own. But the more transparent, the more I say, hey, I need help with this, the more I bring people into my life who truly are helpful. If this was helpful for you and it helped you kind of work through some things on how you can be more transparent in your delivery, with your customers, with your team, with your family, with your social media, whatever it is, please like and subscribe or share it with somebody else that you think this could be helpful for them in their business. I assure you, I'm confident that as you're opening that up and as you're transparent, yes, it opens you up to potential vulnerability or mistrust or people who could take advantage. I get that. And you have to be careful of that. But it also opens you up to the right kind of people that can help you ensure your success. And I promise you, if you're transparent, you will attract those people into your life.